Welcome to another episode of Sparring Sessions. My name's Dax. I'm joined as always by Big Will. How you doing today?
What's up, guys? I'm doing all right, man. Hanging out in the Tesla.
Tesla, I am currently in another state. I'm not in my office, as you can see. I got a blue light, so I still got a little color, but not the cool, different color light behind me. But we make it
Not that,
work.
Wisconsin tan.
Wisconsin, ugh, don't even get me started. I don't want to hear the name Wisconsin ever again. But yeah, welcome. Good to see you. We're here today to break down UFC Fight Night, UFC Saudi Arabia, whatever you want to call it. Israel Adesanya is going to fight Nasruddin Imavov in the main event, co-main
Hype
event.
for that.
Sharboden
Hype for that.
Magomedov, Shara Bullet versus MVP Michael Venom Page. Crazy fight. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it later. That's your main and co-main. UFC Saudi Arabia, whatever you want to call it. I've seen different names. You know how they do with these regional or not non-UFC regional cards. They name it whatever they want to.
UFC Riyadh.
UFC Riyadh. It is going down in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. I might as well throw this ticker down here. Why don't I? 11 fights. We had one fight fall off. Andre Muniz versus Ikram Aliskerov. Actually, kind of looking forward to that one, but they say it's going to be rebooked. It was
We
must have
had
been
two. We had two
Muniz's.
fights fall off.
It's just, oh, El Sawadi was fighting.
Yeah.
We were just talking about him, Twerk King,
He got
Jordan
a
Levitt.
he got canceled twice because they got a replacement and that
Yeah,
guy pulled out as well.
that's a bummer. I would like to see both of those fights. That being said, 11 fights, good number. Good number. I'm
Yeah.
not
I
complaining.
don't I don't hate it, especially for 9 a.m.
9 a.m. start time. One of the perks, you could call it, perks for me at least. I have a big party Saturday night that I'm going to. One of those can't, can't have your phone down here. And believe me, I've tried. I was at a Kesha concert, had my phone down on my side. Intermission, intermission. All right, but still in a crowd of people. But yeah,
I
9
didn't
a.m.
think we'd be
start
talking
time.
about Kesha on this podcast today.
Shout out Kesha. If you ever want to come on, Kesha, we'll give you an excuse. We'll give you an excuse.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, 9 a.m. start time, 11 or noon Eastern time, main card, 11 fights, eight ranked fighters out of the 22. Some of them are a little, what's the word? Suspicious. They would definitely not be ranked in other divisions, and there's some that would
Questionable,
definitely
questionable.
be ranked in other, divisions, but that's not for me to decide. I'm not yet on the rankings panel, but we'll see. But yeah, that's the card. And we're going to kick it off with the first fight of the evening. Now, I'm using Tapology. They've been shifting around the fights. I saw it change a few times this week. I'm just going to go with what's on Tapology and Wikipedia right now. We'll see. We'll see. Heavyweight fight to start us off. Always great to see the heavyweights. Hamdi Abdelwahab. Some might call him the GOAT. Minus 112 versus Jamal Pogues. Abdelwahab coming off a 2-year layoff. He made a short notice UFC debut, beat Dontel Mays in a split decision, popped for steroids, and then we haven't seen him since. Jamal Pogues, those one of those guys,
He's put
came in the
twice in that
UFC.
time that he's been gone.
Yeah, you go.
He's had two suspensions, yeah.
Oh, was it two?
Yeah, there was two separate suspensions. Yeah.
Ah, well, that might come into play with our pick, but wrestler, kind of American wrestling versus Greco-Roman. Yeah, he's Egyptian, MD, but Greco-Roman, it's not necessarily American wrestling as we might think. We'll start with
Yeah, I mean
you.
I'm sorry, his come up has been in the New York, Philly area because he used to train in Philly. He now trains
Oh,
in New York, so he's very like Americanized at this point. Um,
interesting. I didn't know that.
he's a good wrestler. He's a uh got an Olympic background. He seems to have some pop in his shots, not too much, but he's got some pop in his shots. Um, The reason I said that he used to train out with those the Marquez Daniel Gracie guys.
Shout out, shout out.
Yeah, shout out to those guys. He's yeah, like I said, he seems to have some pop. Jamal, I'm a fan of Jamal. He's long. No Diddy. Good straight strikes. Um, I think he's gonna be able to throw down the pipe and get there first against Hamdi. I think he's gonna be able to stuff enough takedowns. I don't know if he'll stuff every takedown, but I think he also excuse me. I think he also has good volume for heavyweight. I could see him piecing up Hamdi with straight shots, bloodying him up, getting his nose busted up, and route to a decision win. And my prediction will be a Pogues win.
I'm going opposite. We talked about this before. You know where I was going. I
Yeah,
think that, I'm a slut for a good Olympic wrestler of any kind. Um,
with pedigree.
Especially with pedigree, Greco-Roman too, which is, I don't know how much you know about Greco-Roman, but it's kind of like less, I don't want to say athletic, less explosive judo. You got some of the throws, less explosive wrestling because you can't, it's just like wrestling, but you can't attack the legs, so no doubles or singles, which I think is good for heavyweight, unless you're Jotun Almeida and athletic. That being said, I like his athleticism, despite looking at him. I like his power. I think Jamal Pose might want to wrestle at some point. Maybe not the immediate game plan. I think he'll shut that down easily. I like him. I like him. I don't think Jamal Pogue is very good at heavyweight. I think he should go back down to light heavyweight and he'd be a lot better. Um,
Yeah, I don't hate you for the pick, man. It's a close fight. It's lined close. Vegas knows it's gonna be a close fight, and it
yeah.
should be a good fight for what it is for a sloppy, fat heavyweight fight. It should be entertaining for however
Uh,
long it lasts.
if you like sloppy fat heavyweight fights, this is a good card. This is a real good card. Ooh.
Oh
Next
yeah,
up, not sloppy fatties. Featherweight fight. Little fat. One of them's not,
yeah,
no six
sloppy
pack.
featherweight.
Sloppy featherweights. Bogdan Grad plus 100 versus Lucas Alexander minus 120. Bogdan Grad coming off a Dana White Contender Series win. I did not score it for him. I scored it for Michael as well, but very close. Very good fight. Versus Lucas Alexander coming off a knockout loss over a year off the shelf to Jekka Sergi. Not a great look. I'm gonna kick us off here,
No.
especially because I know you have more to say about this than I do. I'm going Grad. I'm going Bogdan. Uh, I don't like either guy. Neither I think are really UFC material. That being said, getting knocked out by Jekka Sergi and his only win is in the UFC is Steven Peterson in his retirement fight, which wasn't like domination. Can't pick him, right?
Yeah, I mean, he kicked Ocho's legs off, which I mean, whatever. If he
Yeah.
was that good, I think he would have. I think Bogdan would finish Ocho at this point.
Yeah.
You pretty much everything I said. You pretty much said whatever I said or was gonna say. Bogdan's well-rounded. I think he can live in a brawl better than Alexander can, and he's a finisher. He got like
Yeah.
12 finishes, something like that. Something about Alexander is when he fights in the UFC, or since I've seen him fight in the UFC, he's a guy that always makes the wrong decision. He always seems to somehow make the wrong decision and get finished. And I think all of his losses are by finish. You know, at a lower weight class, that's not a good sign. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Bogdan to win. Also, Bogdan by finish.
After my finish, go check out our best bets episode for a little more
Yep.
about that. Um, but yeah, we're in agreement here. Alexander could win. Who cares about this fight? Neither guy is going to be a champion. No
Yeah,
offense
yeah,
to
yeah,
people
yeah, yeah,
watching.
yeah, yeah. I'm pro Bogdan. All right.
Bro Bogdan, I think you're the only one. Next up, a women's flyweight fight. You like that one? Number 12th ranked Jasmine. Okay, Jasuda Vicious.
Jazz, Jazz Divicious. Yeah,
Jazz Vicious. Okay, I'm gonna butcher
yeah,
that.
that's good.
I'm gonna keep butchering that. Minus 270 versus number 13 ranked at bantamweight, Myra Buenasilva. Buenasilva coming off a title. Oh no, she's not. She had a title shot at the beginning of the year, lost, lost to Meiji Chiesan, docked to stoppage, coming down back down to flyweight now. She was 2-3 at flyweight before moving up. Shows you how bad women's bantamweight is, really. Jezavicius looked really good so far, coming off the Priscilla Cachoeira win. And oh, no, it's not my turn to go. It's your turn. Let's hear it. Who you got here?
Uh, Short story, I got Jasmine to win straight up. She's a great wrestler. Or I wouldn't even say great wrestler. She's a great grinder.
Yeah,
She is a grinder through and through. I think her style gets her far, especially in the women's division, especially in her division. Um, a person that can strike. She is a more well put together Andrea Lee. She's a
that's not
kickboxer.
saying much.
She's a kickboxer who can wrestle, or a wrestler who can kickbox. If you know,
Or
you
somebody
know.
who
I'm
can do
sorry.
none of those.
If you know, you know. No, but
Shout out.
I think Jasmine is cool. I got to meet her when I was in Denver at her fight against who was that? Who did she fight in Denver?
Was that Tracy
Um
Cortez?
no, that was what the hell is her name? She just got to finish over that Russian girl. She came in on really
Fatima
short notice.
Klein.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I was there with
Yeah.
that fight. We shared a couple beers at the bar together, me and Hack.
Oh,
And then yeah, she was cool.
oh.
She was cool. Her team was nice. Um, Silva is got great BJJ. She can definitely throw strikes for 8 minutes. She tires out,
I don't know about
especially
8 minutes.
I might be giving her a couple more minutes there than she's earned. Um, but yeah, she slows down for sure. I'm not going to talk too much about this fight. She slows down for sure. She's shown to slow down more at this weight class. I did see she looks in good shape on her Instagram and on stories, but I mean, she's looked like that before when she came down. So, I mean, maybe if her jujitsu's, or not her jujitsu, sorry, her cardio, if her cardio is on point, she could win this fight for sure. But I don't know if I don't know if it will be. I don't know what her moving down solves. I'm gonna make an obscure reference. Old politician Sarah Palin famously said, "You can put lipstick on a pig, but it's still a pig." Shout out Sarah Palin on this
I'm
on this
not
pod.
gonna agree. I'm not shouting out Sarah Palin.
I'm not
Shout out
either
Alaska.
technically.
There you go. Hope you're doing better.
Yeah, but but like she said, man, you can put lipstick on a pig, but man, it's still a pig.
I
I
do
don't
like
know if
that.
her moving down or her getting down in weight is really gonna help her cardio. It could hurt her cardio unless she's been really putting in the work on the treadmill or out running or whatever. But I don't know. We haven't really seen that in her UFC tenure. So I'm
I
taking
don't know.
Jasmine to win.
Yeah, I'm gonna correct myself. She's actually had two wins since the Priscilla Cachoeira win, the Fatima Klein, and also she beat Lipski De Silva, whatever her name is, Ariane. I agree completely. Jasmine's gonna body her. She's bigger, I think, than the bantamweight coming down, and also extra 10 pounds is not gonna help. MBS is already horrible cardio. Um,
Yeah.
I think this is a clear win. I'm there's not much more to say here.
Yep.
Speaking of not much to say, lightweight, Terrence McKinney
We're gonna do this
minus
one in 90 seconds, buddy. If that.
all right, speed run minus 485 versus Demir Hadzovic plus 370. Hadzovic coming off 3-year layoff. McKinney coming off that head kick KO loss to Emmanuel, not Emmanuel. What am I saying? Ribovics, Esteban Ribovics. Yep.
It's a tough loss.
Tough loss, but he's taken plenty of tough losses. I'm going on first on this one. I mean, Terrence McKinney, round one. The only question is PK or sub, and does it take 30 seconds or does it take 90 seconds? That's it.
Yeah, the only notes I had three words total between the two guys. McKinney, Glass Cannon, Damir Hadzovic, old. Prediction, T-Rex, first 3 minutes.
Yep,
You know, I think McKinney's gonna whoop him. That's it.
easy. All right, next up. That's all it took. Heavyweight, Samil Gaziv, uh, number 14 ranked. Okay, what are we doing here? Come on, guys. Minus 360. Also, come on, what are we doing here? Versus Thomas Peterson, plus 285. Your turn. Sloppy fatties. Who you got in this
You know,
next sloppy
I
fatty
this
fight?
just came to me, and I don't know how you'll feel about it, but I think this is a similar fight to Pogue and Hamdi, just on a different level for both guys.
Yeah,
Obviously, Peterson isn't the wrestler that Hamdi is, and I'm not I'm not comparing the style of Gaziev and Pogues to each other at all, but I think it's very similar in terms of the pressure grinder to the striker. I think that's similar. I don't really have much to say besides I think Gaziev is probably gonna piece him up. I think he's, good to fend off any takedown to wrestling. And I'm gonna take Gaziev to get a mid to late finish or decision.
I'm picking Gaziev. Gaziev. Whatever you want to
Who
say.
cares?
I don't like the line. Go listen to our bets podcast. Spoiler alert: I'm picking Peterson. Or I'm not picking Peterson. I'm betting Peterson. Gaziev, sure. He's. I mean, he's got 6 minutes, and if he doesn't KO Thomas Peterson, or if Peterson gets him pushed up against the cage for all round one, Peterson could pretty easily take a weird, slappy, fatty decision. Gaziev, I guess, a better track record. I guess, kind of, right?
Mm,
Barely.
sort of.
I'm picking him. No way am I ever touching this line. No way. Never. Um, yeah, kind of running through these. Some of these just do not deserve us talking about them that long.
Yeah, pretty much.
This one, I don't know. I don't have many words to say. We'll see what you
I
feel.
don't have a single note for this fight. My predictions, Naeem all finish. This is a weird, excuse me. Uh, this is a weird step up for Ofli that just got knocked out by the tough winner.
Yeah,
I don't really get why. Maybe the UFC just have no faith in him, and they're like they want to give Naeem all a win after he just lost his last fight. I don't know. I don't think Ofli will do good. I think he's tiny. Uh,
yeah.
yeah, I think Naeem's just gonna finish him.
Yeah. Featherweight, Muhammad Naimov minus 310, Khan Offley plus 250. Again, hate the line. Offley's not horrible. I had a prop bet I liked on the bets podcast. Gonna keep mentioning that for a bit. Shout out to Jeannie. Thanks for coming on. But yeah, picking Naimov again. Don't like the line. These guys aren't phenomenal. Naimov's win streak, he had a 3 or 4 fight win streak. Pretty fraudulent. Pretty fraudulent win streak.
For,
Um, yeah. Eh, eh. That's kind of the theme of these prelims, huh? Eh. Uh,
eh.
but luckily, we're getting off the prelims and to a lightweight fight on the to open up the main card. Maybe, hopefully, this should be on the main card either way. Lightweight Frez ZM plus 124 versus Mike Davis minus 142. ZM coming off that devastating knee KO over Matt Frivola in Paris. Yeah, in September, I want to say. Mike Davis, almost a year out, coming off a arm triangle win over Natan Levy, the GOAT. Shout out. Um, this is one where I think both guys, if this were heavyweight, I think both guys would be ranked. Um, I think it's my turn to kick off. I'm gonna go
Yeah,
Davis.
do
I
your
think he's
thing, man.
way better here. ZM's win streak is good, but I don't know. Some of the weird decisions and draws and losses he has, I still don't rate him super highly. I think Davis is like top 15 material if he fought more than once a year. I
Oh
mean, look at
yeah.
his record. It's 4 wins in a row, but he spaced out a year apart. You got to fight if you want a ranking, especially at such a loaded division. Um,
I think he has
yeah,
4 fights in 5 years, something like that,
take a look.
or
Are you going with
6 years
Davis?
now, I think. Oh, I'm going Mike Davis for sure. I'm a big believer in Mike Davis. Um, Whereas ZM, like I said to you in our show, what would the line be if ZM didn't just kill a glass cannon and Matt
Hmm.
Frevola? And I am a big fan of Matt Frevola. I thought he'd win that fight. But he's been chinned violently a couple times in the UFC. And that's just how it goes. I'm not a big believer in Fire ZM. I think he's decent. But I think Mike Davis is a tier better than Fair ZM. I think
Hmm.
Davis is gonna finish him.
I agree. I agree. Davis debuted April in 2019, and he has had 5 fights total. So
Mm,
I guess it will
rough.
be six now. So one a year. He's phenomenal, but we want to watch him fight more. Um,
Yeah, for sure.
Next up, another one. I think both guys very easily could be ranked in almost any other division. Bantamweight, Said Nurmagomedov, not related to those Nurmagomedovs, just shares the name. Minus 162 versus Vinicius Oliveira, plus 136. Oliveira, I mean, we have a betting podcast. We can't, in good conscience, call him Vinicius Oliveira. He's locked off.
Dog.
Who you got in this fight?
Short answer to Magomedov. I think this, I think the very attractive underdogs this weekend are gonna let people down.
Yeah,
Uh, that's just it. I think Saeed's pretty good. Um, Loke Dog can definitely be controlled. He almost got TKO'd in his last fight. People don't remember that. Dude
yeah,
was mounted and was getting pounded into the canvas. Um, and then, landed a flying knee, but go watch the 10 minutes before that. Um, I would not be surprised if we see another ninja choke from our boy Saeed.
Said,
So I'm gonna
I
go
agree.
Saeed to win. I don't know how he'll do it, but I think he'll pull through.
Yeah. I don't think they'd be making this matchup in Saudi Arabia if they didn't like, him
Yeah,
to win. I mean, you mentioned I think you said his last fight 2 fights ago for Lock Dog, he got taken down, he was getting beat up until his short nose opponent gassed. Um he last fight, Ricky Simone, very good win. I think Ricky Simone is kind of done. At least as like a top contender.
yeah.
I don't know. I think Saeed has a better track record. Maybe isn't like top 5 material,
Oops,
but
sorry, I went out there for a
oh,
second. Oops,
all good.
we're good. There
Got
we
you
go.
back now.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I think Nurmagomedov's going to win this. Not easily. His fights are always close, but I think he's going to win this. I think this is a kind of a setup fight. But yeah, popular underdog. I wouldn't hate it if Look Dog wins. It'll be exciting. I'll say that. I wouldn't hate him
Oh, no doubt.
getting another step up. Um, but yeah, our final sloppy, fatty heavyweight fight of the night. Number 4 ranked Sergey Pavlovich minus 310 versus number 9 ranked Jairzinho Rozenstruik plus 250. Crazy line. Pavlovich coming off a decision loss to Alexander Volkov, 2 fight losing streak. Big Boy coming off a 2 fight win streak. That main event against Gaziv, and then he went to a decision with Tuivasa,
Volkov.
Tai Tuivasa
Oh, sorry.
last fight. Won that split decision for some reason. Did you watch? Do you remember watching that fight?
It was a clear win for Rosenstrike. One judge had it 30-27 for Ty. I don't know what drugs he was on,
That
but
was it was in
boy,
Australia. What are you going to say?
that was a bad one. Yeah.
Yeah. The line we kind of discussed it on the other podcast, in our best bets podcast. Line sucks. If you're picking Pavlovich, line is whack. You can't pick
Yeah,
him at
the value
minus
is all on
310.
Rosenstrike, man.
Values
I
on
think.
most strike. Do you think he's going to win though?
We've been recording for about 40 minutes or so, 45 minutes. I'm gonna do it. I'm picking Rosenstrike. I think they're gonna get into a firefight, and I think it'll be early, and I think he's gonna catch Pavlovich cold. So I'm gonna do it. I don't think many people are doing it, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna pick. I will tell you this. A lot of people aren't talking about it. Rosenstrike used to train with Pavlovich. They used to train together as well.
Really?
Just like, yeah, at a American Top Team. I'm pretty sure. Uh,
Okay.
so I mean,
Interesting.
we saw what happens when he fights. When he fought somebody, Rosenstrike was talking about it, man. They used to spar hard as hell in sparring, and he
Yeah.
seemed like he liked how sparring went. Sparring is sparring, but I mean, I don't know. We
Yeah.
just saw how an old training partner did against Pavlovich, and maybe if he pulls out his bag of tricks in the training room, you can beat him in a real fight. So yeah, I'm gonna go Rosenstrike, man. Biggie boy.
I'm joining you. I'm definitely betting him, but I'm also joining you and picking him.
Oh yeah.
Pavlovich, uh, same thing with Volk. That even makes me feel better about it because Volkov kind of said after the fight, a lot of people get surprised by the power of Pavlovich. They don't expect it, and then they got knocked out. But he kind of had that knowledge of the power beforehand, and he won a
Yeah.
point fighting like a what point karate fighting decision against Pavlovich. Rosenstrike comes from kickboxing. I mean, talk about a guy who maybe not as long, but he's definitely point fighted before against
Yeah.
more technical guys, and the
I'd
power's
like to see
there
how they
too.
face off. I'd like to see the size when they face off with each other. That's something I'd be interested in seeing. But yeah, I think I'm gonna take Rosenstrike. It'll be fun. It better be fun. At this point in the card, it
I
better
don't
be
know.
fun.
If Rosenstrike wins, I could see a decision. I could see like a boring decision, honestly. But then we
Yeah,
win some money, so it wouldn't be boring for us.
it's cool with me, man. If old Jairzinho Nurmagomedov wants to make an appearance, I don't care either. So
Shout
put
out.
on his wrestling boots, whatever.
Speaking of some strange strikers, next up we got the middleweight co-main event, the evening. I say evening, it'll probably be 2 o'clock or something.
Yeah, around there.
Shara,
Yeah,
number 14 ranked Shara Bullet Magomedov, minus 175 against MVP Michael Venom Page, number 15th ranked welterweight. He's coming up just for this, maybe just for this fight. Who knows? Plus 145. I'll kick us off. I love Shar here. I think they're setting him up. Only fought strikers except for that weird Tricoli fight, which was like short notice, and Tricoli's not good. This is another striker. He's gonna have 20 pounds on him, maybe. It's in Saudi Arabia. They want him to win. Um, I'm going to say this. There's not a lot of people. There's maybe two or three people in the UFC. I would pick him to get outstruck by Michael Venom Page at middleweight or below. Michael Venom Page is not one of them. Um, I think Shar is going to outstrike him, maybe KO him. MVP's kind of old. I kind of doubt the KO. Wrestling's in the back pocket too. Shar can wrestle. Shar can wrestle. He doesn't do it, but he can. You gave me a few faces. Do you disagree with the pick or do you disagree with my reasoning?
I said earlier that some favorite or some popular underdogs will shit the bed. I am on this popular underdog in
Ooh,
MVP. I don't think there's many people that are gonna outstrike MVP. Just
interesting.
purely outstrike them. I don't think they're gonna do that. I don't think Shara is good as people say he is. Um, I don't think Shara is that big either. I don't think he'll have 20 pounds on MVP. Um, Once again, we'll have to see how they look at the
Yeah.
weigh-in face-offs. I think MVP is still as fast as ever. I still think he's explosive. I just think he's had two really tough, weird matchups for him in the UFC. Um, and I think, this fight could be super underwhelming and be boring,
It could be super
where
boring.
where it could be, 20 significant strikes on each side, each round
Yeah.
or full fight. Who knows? I don't know. Uh, but yeah, I'm gonna take MVP. I think Shar gets tired,
Hmm.
and I think MVP when he smells blood, he goes for it. Um,
Interesting.
I think he comes in and out really well. Uh, as we've seen his whole career the last 15 years. I'm going to take
Yeah.
MVP. I don't really have much to say on it because it could be a shitty fight. But MVP, I think this is the fight where MVP can finally like have his welcome to the UFC moment.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I think we'll see. Uh, Definitely a weird one. I
Yeah.
was a little surprised. I mean, I'd seen the call, a little surprised, but
And it's
that
a
being said,
one-off too. He's going right back
oh
down to
yeah,
170 after. So,
absolutely, immediately. And it's good. We have a few we split on. I think that's going to be good. A little healthy competition between us never
oh
hurt. No,
yeah. It'd be weird if we agreed on every fight, man.
that'll be maybe not a bad card, but probably a good betting card, I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Jumping up to the main event. I don't know if we're going to agree on this one. I don't know. I don't think so. Uh, Main event at middleweight. This is a big one. Number two ranked Israel Adesanya minus 162 against Nasruddin Imavov, number five at plus 136. Izzy coming off his title loss to Dricus Du Plessis, got subbed in the fourth round. Nasruddin Imavov coming off a pretty, it was a KO. He was winning, but a early stoppage, one might say, against Jared Cannonier. Main event, Saudi Arabia.
No, he just fought Brendan Allen.
Oh, he did fight Brendan Allen. Shout out.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, he won a 29-28 decision.
29-20 decision. Yeah. Okay. Coming off a 29-28 decision in Paris. That was in Paris. Okay. Um,
Shitty,
I think,
shitty circumstances. There's no Brendan Allen bias here, man.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Shout out. Shout out. Um, Definitely don't play video games with him.
Yeah, the French athletic commission, they're right down the middle, man.
Gross. Gross. I think uh before we get to picks, I kind of think this is a title eliminator. I think we're going to see whoever wins this fight for the title after Hamzat. Do you agree?
I think a big win would jump Hamzat. I don't really think Hamzat. I don't know. I think the guy we've seen it happen before, man. Your number one spot or whatever can always get taken.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I
you
guess
know,
let me.
if Izzy goes out there and wheel kicks Imavov to death, I mean, he could call out the winner and it sets up perfectly. So
Yeah, it does. I think this is for a title shot anyway. Whatever, however it
yeah,
gets
however you
cut.
slice it.
That being said, who you got here?
I got Izzy. Um, I'm big on Izzy this week. Imavov just seems more of a 6 to 12 type of fighter instead of a top five to me. He's good, um, but I don't think he's great. I think people are calling Izzy washed. If he's the third best guy in the division, that's not washed at all. If he's the fifth guy in the division, it's not washed at all. You know, you can't sit and, win 15, 20 UFC title fights, unless you're John Jones or whoever. Um, but I think Izzy looked damn good in the first three rounds against uh Dricus.
Yeah,
He was like minus 2,000 live going into like the fourth round or something like that, the third round. Like he was a huge favorite going into that fight, or going into the rounds. And then came back a little bit. He got caught and he made a wrong decision, gave it back. That's how it goes
yeah,
sometimes. But listening to him talk, I think he's severely helped his cardio. I think he's really uh, upped his cardio to be able to sustain that volume that he did against Strickers. And I think that's something we see here. I think Imavov's going to slow down a bit, and I think Izzy's going to finish him late. I think he's got something to prove,
Hmm,
and I think he's pissed off.
interesting. I'm also picking Izzy. I think it's going to be a bit closer.
Did
We
you
know
think I was picking
Izzy's.
Imavov?
I kind of thought you were.
Why? What the hell?
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I should have known. I forgot about the Brendan Allen thing. I forgot about that. But he seems like the kind of guy you like. Kind of
Not a,
a
not a big Imavov fan, man. No lie. Not a big Imavov fan. I'm
oh,
not,
interesting.
I'm not an
Okay,
Imavov believer. Yeah.
interesting. All right, good to know for future. I think this is a test for Izzy. I think there's a chance he's I don't want to say done, but like this is to me the when Anderson Silva was on a decline, this is the Derek Brunson fight for me, where it's it's a test to see, are you really out of the title contention? Are you are you that far gone that this is a guy that if you were in your prime you would beat easily? Are you that far gone? I don't think he is. I think he's lost a step. I don't think it's like nearly as bad as some people are saying.
Yeah,
But if he loses this, I think he's kind of done.
yeah, it'll be tough
At
to get
least,
back
yeah,
from this loss.
yeah,
I think Imavov will shoot out of desperation.
yeah,
I don't think that's his game plan to shoot, just shoot. And I think once he shoots out of desperation, that's when Izzy's really gonna get his ass.
yeah.
So yeah, I think Imavov is toast. I think Izzy's um volume will be there. So I would like to look at Izzy's significant strikes. I'm assuming it's gonna be like in the 70-80 range. Five
I
round
see
fight.
that.
Yeah, I think it'll be in that range. I could see him, putting up those numbers, especially if it goes to decision. But yeah, I'm playing Izzy straight up, man.
Yeah, I might get around to it, especially if this number's been dropping if it comes down more.
Very parlayable. Very
Right.
parlayable.
Yeah. All right, and not last, and maybe least, depending on how you view regional events, but regional minute, non-UFC action this week. I'll go super quick through. There isn't a ton. Uh, breaking the fourth wall. We had Power Slap this morning. I don't know any of the
Shout
Power
out
Slap
Dumpling.
guys.
Shout out Dumpling. Huge upset in the main event.
Huge upset, apparently. Sure.
You know you love your power slap, man.
Like, oh, can't get
The
enough of it.
crazy, the crazy Hawaiian 16-1-1, never lost in power slap, only had a draw
Uh,
against Dumpling. Huge favorite, huge favorite. Dumpling comes in and he dominates. He dominated the crazy
Jeez.
Hawaiian. I'm sorry, I had to give it a little
Was
power
it?
slap love because
So did he get less meth than was he paid out in less methamphetamine
uh,
than he was? Nah, I'm just kidding.
potato wine he got paid in.
Hey, don't lie. All right, we've talked way too much about Power Slap for my liking. Lux Fight League, Mexican promotion, Friday the 31st, 10 p.m. Fight Pass,
Oh, when we
Octagon
did our when
60.
we did our re when we I'm sorry to interrupt you. When we
Yeah.
did our recap, we didn't shout out our boy Ben Rothwell because we called Ben Rothwell last week.
Ooh, shout out Ben Rothwell.
And my boy Pat Brady. And my boy Pat Brady. He
And
came in
Pat
with a
Brady.
first
Pat Brady.
Pat Brady, man. He came out with a first round TKO against a BKFC vet that was 5-2 in the promotion. So my boy's 2-0 in the promotion now. Shout out Pat.
Love it. Great event. Loved not
Awesome,
love when they
awesome
do
event.
Knucklemania.
Oh yeah.
Um, Octagon 66 going down Saturday. If you really want, the UFC is going to be going on because it's at noon. Octagon is at noon. If you really want a second fight on, I guess, I might be second fighting it depending on where I'm at. Octagon.tv. I think it's $10. Okay card. Not their best. That's Saturday the 1st at noon. Uh, David Benavidez versus, I'm blanking on his name. David Morrell. Oh, David versus
Mm.
David. Saturday boxing, Saturday at 8 p.m. on Prime Video. So potentially free depending on if you have Prime Video. Good fight card or a good fight. I don't know boxing that well, so I don't know if it's a good fight card or not. Uh, Also Saturday, 8 p.m. Also at 8 p.m. BKFC on DAZN 4. Obviously on DAZN.
Julian Lane, Brendan Ward on that card. Brendan
And
Ward, if
words,
you know, if you watch BK or PF or Bellator, sorry, that dude always bangs, man.
always bangs. BKFC's his home. Do you know who Austin Lane is fighting in the main event?
Van Camp.
Cameron Van Camp.
That's
UFC,
that's
I
a
don't know.
fight.
B2 GOAT. Shout out.
Shout out Kentucky, man.
Do you know who else is fighting on that Bare Knuckle FC card? Making his not UFC, making his debut,
I do not.
his heavyweight debut. The
No.
Parker Porter.
Oh, Parker Porter, yeah. That'll also be a fight.
That will also be a fight. Hope
Hope he
he
does well,
wins.
man.
He's
Hope he
got
does
abs.
well,
Have you
man.
seen him recently?
No way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He was on some
If I get
program.
off this, if I get off this recording and he has abs, if I go look at his Instagram, I'm gonna fear for someone's safety.
He is hopefully winning. And then last but not least, CFFC, Cage FC 139, also 8 p.m., also on UFC Fight Pass. Uh, Bill Hassan is defending his flyweight title. Not a phenomenal card, but Bill Hassan's a good fighter, potentially UFC someday. So nothing crazy. We're not having Cougs on for prospect watch this week. It's nothing
Nothing too
insane.
crazy this week.
Yeah. But next week, mm,
Have a good week
not
next week,
crazy.
that's for sure.
We'll have a discussion about this card. We are going to disagree on some of the things on this card. All I can say right now, uh, let me phrase it this way: which card is better, the fight night this weekend or next weekend's pay-per-view?
Probably this weekend's card.
Yeah, UFC 312, Dricus Du Plessis versus Sean Strickland 2, going down in Australia. Co-main event: Zhang Weili versus Tatiana Suarez. Both title fights, middleweight and women's strawweight. Rest of the card, not a lot of names. That's what I'm going to say. I think we can both agree. Not a lot of big names that you'd expect, pay-per-view strongholds. We'll talk about some more from the card. What what's one thing you're looking forward to from that card?
First thing that comes to mind is Jack Jenkins and his fight.
Mm,
Big fan of Jack Jenkins. I've been to a fight of his or two, down in Florida, and yeah, man,
Wada.
he's a good watch, a good dude. His brother's a good guy. Maybe I can go on and hit one of those guys up and see if they'll come on the pod next week,
Ooh.
for his fight. Uh, Let me work on that this weekend, and we'll see about that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Jack Jenkins fighting. I'm also always excited to see John Wei Lee. I think people are already crowning Tatiana Suarez the champion, and she's got to go through a tough test. So I'm looking forward to those fights the most.
I am also looking forward to Whaley. I really do like her. Minus 138, I think, is a crazy line. We'll talk about that. Fight
Oh
I am
yeah,
most looking forward to. Even if you include the top two, I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan. Tom Nolan is fighting Slavaklaus Visha Borshev. I mean, that just got banger written all over it, right?
yeah, that's gonna be a crazy fight. I'm looking forward to that fight too. Someone's gonna die, and it's gonna be
Someone's gonna
comical.
die.
But that's for next week.
Oh, we're gonna disagree on that. I'm telling you right now. But next week, for this week, thanks so much as always. Will, it's been great talking to you. Great predicting with you. Um,
Yes, sir.
and thank you.
Good show this week. Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you for listening. We'll have a little bit of a weird week this week. We both had some weird circumstances come up. Back in your ears, back in your eyeballs, as normal. We'll be both be in our normal spots next week. But yeah,
Yes,
thanks
sir.
so much and see you later.